Welcome to another edition of the Weekly Ram. I'm your host, Tom Quinlan. A big show today, and let's get right to it. Our two guests on the Weekly Ram today. First, he is the president of your Real Boston Rams and assistant coach, Mike Madden. And also, he is the assistant general manager and assistant coach to the Real Boston Rams, Peter Mendel. Gentlemen, welcome on to the show.
Thanks, Tom. Happy to be here.
Thanks, appreciate it.
And Mike, I want to get back to you for a second. Tell me how you got on board with John Barada, the general manager.
John and I have been talking for a long time about how to bring soccer to the next level here in New England and what could be something for the boys to aspire to that are playing college locally in the area. And getting the team into the USLPDL seemed like the thing to do and seemed the way to go, and it's worked out so far.
And you talk about inspiring players coming in and playing with the Real Boston Rams. Obviously, now the affiliation with the New England Revolution brings that to light a lot more. And as assistant coach and president of the team, how are you marketing the Rams right now to bring in a lot of this young talent?
Getting the word out with the Revolution coaches being around to have an eye on the players while they're playing here for the Real Boston Rams is huge. I think it'll reach out to schools and players that are maybe a little bit harder to reach from this region to come over here to be able to get to have the MLS coaches get a look at them while they play here during the summer.
Pete, you're a guy that evaluates a lot of talent here with the Rams. You're assistant to the general manager. You're an assistant coach to Jimmy Costa. Tell me what you've seen so far.
I think overall the quality is extremely high. The players that have been showing up to the tryouts and participating have been top-notch. I think there's certainly a few guys that need some further development. I know the Revs coaching staff at one of our tryouts have also said good things about some of our players, and I think it's more or less the future for some of these guys that have a lot of talent that maybe haven't reached their peak yet. I'm glad that we can be a home to them as they continue their development.
How are you as a coach trying to style your players? What type of tips and pointers have you given them so far in the early goings in this young season?
Mike and I, as well as Mike Agostino, have worked very hard with head coach Jimmy Costa in kind of determining a plan of how we want to play and what style we want to kind of use throughout the season. We've had a lot of good discussions and meetings in terms of the fitness of the players going in and exactly the type of style that we want to use this year in the USLPDL season. So we haven't really gotten too much into specifics at this point, but we're really looking forward to the guys coming in to our preseason in shape and ready to go.
What would you say is the hardest thing right now in developing these New England kids to be ready for the PDL?
I think just getting the kids acclimated to the competition that's going to be out there will be enormous. Getting them to see what the players and how good the players are from New Hampshire, from Rhode Island, from Ottawa, from Vermont. I think getting them acclimated to that level of play will kind of do the job for us. So when they get into the competition, into the season, I think as long as we train at a high level and we bring them to that competition, I think they'll do fine.
It's kind of a tricky in that sense that we really think we have a strong squad, but we also know the level of competition out there changes every year. We know it's a very high level, and so I think we're just excited to kind of get things going and looking forward to that first match to see exactly kind of where we stand.
How do the Real Boston Rams stick out apart from everybody else?
I think right off the bat, what we're really going to concentrate on is developing the players. If we give them a high, intense training session at a high level and we develop the players first, then we'll be fine. I think we're just going to not worry about anybody else, just worry about what we can do, and that's just develop the players the best we can and go from there.
Yeah, to echo what Mike said, the development of these guys is crucial because now, with our affiliation with the New England Revolution, we want to prepare these players for possible, tryouts within the MLS or the USL Pro and beyond. So I think kind of our task is really to get these guys focused and training hard and working hard so that if they do aspire to the next level, that hopefully we can get them there.
Mike, it's not hard to tell you're from Boston. What does it mean to you to have a team now in the Boston area? I mean, the Revolution are in Foxborough. The Real Boston Rams are Boston. What does this mean to you?
It's huge for me. I played here. I grew up here. We didn't have this when I was younger. There was barely club soccer around when I was younger. So to be able to have now, the club soccer scene onto the PDL scene, which you could transfer into the USL Pro, and then from there to the MLS and have it all right here in our own backyard, I think is phenomenal. I think it's awesome. It's something I want to see for a long time, and now to get to be a part of it, couldn't ask for anything more. the group that we have working with us, John Barata and John Fonseca, along with the coaching staff, and it's just going to be a fantastic experience.
Pete, the entire front office organization is a real close, tight-knit group. What came to the conclusion of bringing these guys together, and what made it that these guys were the right guys?
John Barata and Mike approached me about it, and certainly Mike and John are people that I've known for quite some time now, and we all kind of share the same belief. And when you can kind of not only work with your friends but also share a common goal, it makes things much easier. And I think we all share that same passion for the game and growing it in this region, and finding like-minded people who you also get along with well outside of meetings and training sessions and things like that. Makes work a lot more interesting, fun, and exciting for everybody.
Exactly what Pete said. Getting to work together as much as we do, putting in the hours that we do day in and day out, and then all the training sessions and meetings. Pete's 100% right. It's you look forward to it. You look forward to working together. You look forward to going over. You don't mind the long hours that you put in because you enjoy the company of the people that you're with. So it's fun.
Well, thank you guys for joining me on the Weekly Ram. That does it for another podcast episode. Be sure to talk to much more organization members during the coming weeks, and also don't worry, you're going to meet your future Real Boston Rams players here first on the Weekly Ram. Thank you for joining me for another episode. We'll see you next time.